The book is called Woke Inc. His name is Vivek Ramaswamy. Make sure you go and get that. So the bottom line is the money. We get that, and the money is for the elites, for the big top basketball players, for the NBA itself, for Disney, for Nike. Fill in the blank. It's about the money. But what is the goal on the ground level of wokeism? Do these people, are they just minions that are controlled by the message of those who are grabbing the money? Because the Antifas out there and the BLM, the people in the streets, not the leaders, they're all very rich. They're all getting even richer because of this fake wokeism. But are these people just indoctrinated and they really believe that we're a horrible, racist, disgusting, backward country? Is that really, has wokeism been that successful?
Well, the people who are wielding this philosophy are doing what people who have wielded other philosophies about power structures have done in the past. Take Marxism, for example. Wokeism isn't the same as Marxism, as I'll come back to. But if you look at people who preached Marxism, Lenin, Stalin, they used the philosophy of disempowerment to empower themselves.
Yeah.
That is what theories of disempowerment do. And so they posited a worldview based on economic disempowerment, but they used that theory to be able to create a victimhood culture amongst the working class that then empowered the people who were on top of that power structure, who are not actually the capitalist elites, but who are actually the communist leaders themselves, Stalin, Lenin, and so forth. The same thing with respect to wokeism is wokeism says that the power structure isn't based on economics. No, it's based on genetics. Race, gender, sexual orientation, full stop, determines your identity and determines the new power structures. Well, the people who are preaching that message are actually using a new kind of victimhood culture to hold back and create a form of psychological slavery for the very minority interests that they supposedly represent,
right,
and make themselves the people who actually wield power. And that's the invisible power structure that we actually need to see. Not the one that's based on race or gender, but the one that's based on this new culture of fear that prevents anyone from being able to dissent against that orthodoxy. And that culture of fear has completely replaced our culture of free speech. That is why these people wield power. And that's why I'm writing this book, to call it out, because sunlight is going to be the best disinfectant once we expose that hypocrisy and that scam for what it is.
Woke Inc., Vivek Ramaswamy. You know, Kanye West got canceled for saying what you just said. It's mental, it is emotional slavery. People, their mindset, if they allow themselves to continue to be enslaved, then they're going to be enslaved by those who are going to reap the benefits. Kanye said that in TMZ or something, had a fit. Everybody had a fit. He was canceled for a little while. I think he's back now. But at the end of the day, when you talk about Marxism, you've got the founders of BLM literally saying, listen, we're trained Marxists. They're saying it out loud in front of cameras and microphones, and there's no ramifications. They can buy $2 and $3 and $4 million homes, out in Toluca Lake, and they're not in trouble for that because they're still the leaders of some sort of a movement that's going to solve the problems of America. So your book is doing a good job. I'm doing the best I can. You're out here speaking, doing the best you can. But how do we en masse really re-educate people to understand the trickery that's befalling them?
Well, look, part of it is, like I said, shining sunlight on the problem. That's what I do in the book. Part of it's going to have to come from policy solutions and legal solutions. I discuss those at length in the book. I think a lot of this actually, Joe, originates with bad government policy in the first place.
Agreed.
Where you have government regulations that are applied not even-handedly. I'll give you one example, which is we have prohibitions on the discrimination based on race or sex or religion or national origin, or as of last year, the Bostock case says sexual orientation's on that list. Well, I say this. If you can't discriminate in the workplace on the basis of race or sex or religion, then you should not be able to discriminate on the basis of somebody's political beliefs either.
Agreed.
If you can't fire somebody because they're black or gay or Muslim or Christian or Jewish or whatever, you should not be able to fire them because they're an outspoken conservative either. And that is not an academic issue. It is happening every day in this country. If it can happen to the 45th president of the United States, it can happen to anybody. And so I think there is a policy toolkit here that revives and reinvigorates our culture of true free speech, not just legal free speech, but our culture of free speech in America. So I talk about those a lot in the book.